Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Time 7:10 this morning. Good morning to you. Hey, on the telephone, all the way from beautiful downtown Wilder, Kentucky, let's say good morning to Bobby Mackey. Hey, man.
Good morning, Gordon. How you doing out there?
Another day in paradise, sir. How about you?
Oh, it's great. Wilder, Kentucky's great. I've been at this nightclub here for 35 years, and it never gets old.
35 years.
Yeah.
How, let's see now, so you're an institution in your area. We've got one down in Bandera, Archie Blue. It's got a little joint down in, downstairs in downtown Bandera, and, you can, go there. I don't know how often he plays his own club anymore, but you can still stop in and see Archie Blue at the Silver Dollar. So, now, are you the house band, Bobby?
Yes, I'm there every Friday and Saturday night. It's kind of built on me, and if I miss a night, I hear about it for 6 months.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you, you know, here in Wilder, Kentucky, my nightclub here is, I'm always told from people from Texas that stop in to see us, I'm always told we're the closest thing to Texas, outside of Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to beat.
I've always had Texas people come to the club and really like our music. And I've always wanted to come to Texas and play, but I've been so ground in here. I've always recorded through the years and everything.
All right.
But it's kind of it's home. You know, it's Wilder, Kentucky.
Well, there is nothing wrong with that. Now, you know, we had, of course, Bridget London and Clay Reynolds came through here last month, and they.
She's great. They're great.
Yeah, and they had, I guess, recently been to your place, and they were telling us all kind of stories about that place having some. Supernatural type things going on there.
Well, Gordon, that's what they tell me. That's what they say. I tried to keep it hid. Like when I first got the place, there was a kid from up the street that knew all about the place, and I hired him to take care of everything for me and clean up and everything. And he started trying to tell me stories about weird things going on around there, and I said, hey, I don't want to hear anything about this. I said, I want people to come here and have a good time. I don't want people worried about some ghosts. And so I wouldn't allow him to talk about it. And so it was quiet for all the first about 11 years, I guess, into it. And it kind of got out, and Doug Hensley wrote a book about it entitled Hell's Gate. The site was a slaughterhouse back in the late 1800s. And there was a well that the floor was built over top of, where they drained the blood, you know, to the Licking River from the slaughterhouse. And this kid, Carl Lawson, found it, and I don't know of anybody who knew it was there. He chopped a hole in the floor, and when I found that out and saw that it was clearly a well. Anyway, the book that was written, it's called Hell's Gate, and got its name from the well. So
I'll be doggone. Well, that's pretty interesting stuff there, Bobby.
I just don't believe in it. You know, I'm into the music. I'm into the music, and I ain't worried about that. But it's been featured on Ghost Adventures several times. It airs on the Travel Channel.
Well, any publicity is good publicity, isn't it?
Yeah, I found that out. But in the beginning, I thought people wouldn't want to come there. You know, when I was a kid, I grew up in Concord, Kentucky, a little town. My dad ran a grocery store, and when the farmers would come be in the store and talk about a place being haunted or something, talk about a certain house being haunted, I wouldn't go near it. So, judging by myself, I didn't want everybody to know that story, but.
Well, that's good though. That it has. I mean, if it has worked to your favor, then that's fine.
Well, it has. I didn't, but I didn't have anything to do with it. It happened in spite of me. So I can't say it was a real good promotional ploy on my part.
They drug you along kicking and screaming then, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say I was kicking and screaming all the way, but it has worked out, and people come from all over to spend the night in the place and investigate a lot of these paranormal groups from all over the country. And I'll tell you what, there's a whole lot more people believe in it than don't.
I'll be doggone. Yeah, I guess
it's all about country music. It's all about country music for me, Gordon.
There you go. So is the ghost of any old songs rolling around that place? Let's talk about that. Bobby,
any old songs?
No. Let me ask you a question, Bobby. Now, you've had the club 35 years.
Yep.
Okay, so you were doing this before you bought the club, huh?
Yeah, I played other clubs for. I worked on the railroad when I first got out of high school and come to this area around it's just across the river from Cincinnati, actually.
Okay.
And I was when I got out of high school, I come to this area and went to work on the railroad. And then the railroad got slow and I got laid off, and I got into music full time. And I played other clubs over in the Cincinnati area, kind of north of Cincinnati, and had the opportunity to get this old dilapidated gambling casino over in Wilder, Kentucky, and at that time it was a turning point for me. It was either move to Nashville or get my own club, and I had a wife and a baby daughter, and I opted for the security of getting my own club because I knew I'd always done well in the clubs I played
sure.
previous to that, and
right.
So it's worked out.
So that's a pretty good gig every Friday and Saturday night. How often do you have other live acts or touring acts? I mean, how many nights a week do y'all have live music there?
Well, just two. We're just open Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
During the winter months, when it gets dark early, I always start at 10 o'clock. My band and I start at 10 every Friday and Saturday night. But on Saturday nights during the winter months, when it gets dark early, we have 8 o'clock shows.
Okay.
And we had Bridget and Clay there.
Okay.
And they did great, and she's great. It was a pleasure having her there.
Oh, good, very good. Now, Bobby, how many records have you put out over the course of your career?
I've had 8 albums, and of course just released the new one. And it's a little different for me because I wrote all the songs on it.
Okay.
And I don't know why it took me so long to get into writing. I've written through the years, but I never really concentrated and had that many songs together for an album. I've recorded a few, but this time I wrote all the songs, and I'm really proud of it.
Country music lives on, Bobby Mackey.
Yeah.
This is I'll tell you what, there's several on the CD that we are spinning here, and gotten high marks from the listeners. I've got people that run into around town and say, "Hey, man, I enjoyed that new that thing, that Poor Pearl, Poor Girl thing you played the other day."
Oh yeah, that's about the ghost thing too. There was a girl beheaded in 1896, and the two guys that did it hung for the crime. It was the crime of the century. And so anyway, I went way back and studied the whole story and put it together. And of course, people say they see a headless girl in the club all the time around there, but I don't know. But anyway, it's a good song. I'm glad you like it.
Oh yeah. There's several on here that we're spinning.
I'm proud to have my little piece of Texas there.
That's good. That's good. It's there are times we get CDs in here that if I can find one song that I can consider roadshow approved, I'm happy. There are several on here that I like that we play here.
I appreciate it very much.
On her way to Florida in the T-Bird has got.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite to perform on stage. That's lively and a lot of fun.
And I noticed that on the album cover there is a late model T-Bird convertible.
Yeah, there's a T-Bird, and my wife and I got married on the beach in St. Petersburg, so that wraps the song together for you, I hope.
Folks, it is 7:20. We've got Bobby Mackey on the telephone. Now, Bobby, what is the name of the nightclub? Is it Bobby Mackey's?
Yeah, it's Bobby Mackey's. Originally, it was Bobby Mackey's Music World, and some people still refer to it as that. But it was Bobby Mackey's Music World was too much to put on bumper sticker. So anyway, it kind of shortened to Bobby Mackey's, but some people still refer to it as Bobby Mackey's Music World, and that's okay. I must have done a good job in the beginning.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Bobby, I need to take a short break here. Can you hang on with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go ahead and get this 20 break out of the way. We'll be back with Bobby Mackey right here on Big G's Texas Roadshow. Stay tuned, and when we come back, I think we'll play a little Bobby Mackey for you as well. Stay tuned. All right, 7:25 here on Big G's Texas Roadshow on KERV, Kerrville's original radio station. We've got Bobby Mackey, proprietor of Bobby Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky, and country music star as well, on the telephone with us this morning. Now, Bobby, we were off the air. You're talking about your club, Bobby Mackey's. You said that you bought the. Well, why don't you tell the story about the mechanical bull?
Okay, I bought the first mechanical bull that Gillies sold, Sherwood Cryer, when they were making the movie. He had started manufacturing the bulls himself, and I heard about it and went out there, and I bought the first one they sold. In fact, I still got it. It's got a 3 on the back. The first one they made was for Travolta to learn to ride, and the second one was used in the movie, and I got the third one.
Wow. Urban Cowboy is the movie we're talking about.
Yeah, and I got it in October of '79, and the movie didn't come out until I think it was June of '80. And man, people were taking to it already, but when the movie came out, they'd go straight from the movie theater and line up out in the front of the club trying to get in. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was a phenomena that swept the nation. The whole cowboy thing.
It was a period in time when we'll never forget.
Yeah, there was because at that point disco had been the big deal, and folks who were out in their polyester blend leisure suits, disco dancing. 6 months later, they had their cowboy hat and their pearl snaps on, and they were drinking long necks
with a rattlesnake headband.
There you go.
Headband.
There you go. That's right. That's exactly right.
It was a lot of fun, and I still got the mechanical bull too. By the way, I wore out about 5 or 6, and we still have it. Of course, it's remote control now and stuff.
Sure.
Not like the old original Gillies bull.
Right.
But people would ask me, or news people would be interviewing me back during the Urban Cowboy Day, and they'd ask me, "You think this is a fad? You think it'll go away?" And I always said then, and it's proven to be right. It's like a pool table. As long as it's sitting there, somebody's going to get on it.
There you go.
So.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I'm trying to remember the last place that I saw a mechanical bull that was active. I cannot remember. So keeping the tradition alive, that's great, Bobby. That is good stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people still ride it. I mean, these young people wasn't even near born when Urban Cowboy was out. They love it.
Yeah, as I recall, the ones that I used to remember seeing around, they had like the colored gymnasium mats all over the floor.
Yeah, well, in the beginning we had just red wool mattresses stacked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've got an inflated mattress around it now.
Oh, okay. Make that landing a little more palatable.
Yeah. People used to bounce off them red roll mattresses. They'd get thrown off and they'd bounce about 3 times and land in the floor.
Now, what did your insurance guy? What was his take on this when you told him what you were going to do?
Well, my answer to you would be what insurance? Nobody would insure it. Nobody would insure it. So getting up every day is a gamble, isn't it?
All right. Okay.
It's worked out.
All right. Well, that's good. So let's talk about your music here, Bobby.
All right.
You now tell us a typical set. How long does it last? What do you play? And
I go on stage at 10 o'clock on Friday and Saturday nights. I've got a great band. I've got the bass player been with me for 40 years. Ever since I started. In fact, he did start out with me. He was gone for a few years, had his own band for a few years in the middle there somewhere, but he's been with me through thick and thin, and my steel player's been with me about 25 years, and drummer about that length of time. Got a guitar player that's been with us a couple of years, and I'm real happy with him. But anyway, I got a great band. We play country music, and I mean country music. Mm-hmm. And we go on stage at 10 o'clock, and I play from 10 to 11. And we got some karaoke going on during the break. We have karaoke for an hour. We go back and play another hour. And people love what we do.
Wow. Well, that is great. That is hard to beat.
And this album I just put out, I'm really, really proud of this album, and I appreciate so much you playing cuts off of it. And
sure.
It's available on iTunes, and of course, BobbyMackey.com tells all about what's happening at the club if you want to get closer to what's going on.
Okay. All right. BobbyMackey.com, huh? And folks can find you on Facebook as well.
Yeah, and Twitter at Bobby Mackey.
Okay. All right, Bobby. Well, doggone, man, this is good stuff. Now you say you're across the river from Cincinnati, then? Yeah.
We're about 7 or 8 minutes from downtown Cincinnati, but Wilder, Kentucky sounds like it's far away there, but from the front door you can see the skyline of Cincinnati. Okay,
well, very good. Well, I need to make it that way and come hang out there one weekend.
Oh, I'd love to have you. And Bridget's coming back, I believe, March the 29th, I think. Okay. We're having one of the last of the Honky Tonks series.
Right, last Honky Tonk music series.
We're tied into that, and she's going to be there, and we're going to have some outlaw country going on that night.
Very good.
8 o'clock show with her, and do a lot going on that weekend.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good because, matter of fact, Bridget is going to be on with us, I think, next Thursday morning, giving us an update.
Tell her I said hello. Give her my love. She's great.
I'll do that. Yeah, she's going to be on with us, kind of updating where they're at. I think the last time we talked with Bridget, she had 12 clubs that were in the fold for the last Honky Tonk music series. I know her.
That's a great idea.
Her goal was to have one in every state, so we can't wait to get an update from her. Bobby Mackey, thank you for being our guest this morning. Thank you, sir.
Gordon, thank you, and I appreciate you very much, and I'd love to see you walk in the door in Wilder, Kentucky.
Well, you just keep your eyes peeled that door. You never know when that's going to happen.
The way it was is still the way it is, right?
That's the way we like it, too. Bobby Mackey, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby, thank you so much. I tell you what, let's put on some Bobby Mackey right now, shall we? This one is cut number 12 on the record. It's called Country Music Lives On. The name of this song, Poor Pearl.
Yeah.
Poor Girl.
Oh. Thank you, Gordon.
Poor girl, lay dead upon the ground. Poor girl, her head was never found. Scott Jackson had a pregnant girlfriend, Pearl Bryan was her name. He and Alonzo Walling met her at the train. That night a plot unfolded, poor Pearl lost her life. Scott and Alonzo both hung for that crime. Poor girl, lay dead upon the ground. Poor girl, her head was never found. been more than a century since they took her life away, but the legend of Pearl Bryan is still talked about today. Poor Pearl, poor girl, lay dead upon the ground. Poor Pearl, poor girl, her head was never found. Poor Pearl, poor girl, lay dead upon the ground. Poor Pearl, poor girl, her head was never found. Poor Pearl, poor girl, her head was never found.
Bobby Mackey here on the Road Show this morning. Poor Pearl, poor girl. The album is Country Music Lives On. You can find out more about it. BobbyMackey.com. That's Mackey. Poor Pearl, poor girl. What was it? The old Flat and Scruggs. Pearl, pearl, pearl. Different pearl, I would assume.